This is a 0 yen or free house. That is the buying price, by the way, for real. But of course comes with a small handful of caveats that may either completely ruin it for you or make it exactly what you're looking for. Let's take a peek. Now, obviously, it's not as simple as them just handing you the keys and you walking away with the free house. But as we go through, we'll cover the system and how to find these places and all of it. And there's a deck. Okay, so there's a washing machine right here. Seems they were keeping their washing machine outside. And the deck looks like it's in okay condition. Mind you, the wood kind of feels like it's bowing a little. Oh, right there. It's not too bad, but if I lived here, this would probably be one of the first. I'm not going to jump and shake. It would be one of the first things I'd replace. Let's take a peek inside. There are over 8 million abandoned homes and properties in Japan, and wow, this entranceway is distractingly nice. It keeps that log cabin aesthetic with the walls actually all the way in. Look at this. Okay, we got slippers right here. Gonna put them on. I guess we'll start right here with the main room. You know what? Let's get these curtains open and get some extra light in here. Abandoned homes are known as Akiya in Japan, and there's a whole handful of ways to get your hands on them. And what is going on over here? We've got a blackboard with what seems to be an old school desk. Even though we're in the mountains, we have a box full of snorkeling equipment, some tools, and then some phone guides and yellow pages for Chiba. Also very much in love with this little Sanyo cassette radio player here. One of the most common ways is by going through like an Akiya bank, which is how my buddy Yota ended up living in an abandoned school out in the mountains of Shikoku. He used an Akiya bank.
Akiya Bank っていうちゃんとしたシステムもあって、そういう人を探している人と提供したい人がこうマッチングできるように。
This is such a typical old Japanese gas stove, but with Akiya Bank you tend to have to do a lot of work and incur a lot of the costs on your end, and it's harder to find zero-end places. So there are also matching services that you can use. Fridge opens. I also love that this drawer doesn't say eggs, it says candy. That is a candy drawer. How's the freezer doing? Oh, okay. Yeah, we can just go ahead and close that. I think that pretty much sums it up for this room, except there's an entire upstairs section as well that we got to check out. Now, this place was introduced to me through a gentleman who started his own matching service after realizing that selling the house that his parents left him would actually cost him more than just giving it away for free.
壊そうと思ったら、300万円ほどかかると。で、300万円で壊したとしても土地でなかなか売れなかったんですね。で、そんな時にタダで譲り受けてくれるっていう方がいたので。
So he was kind enough to introduce this place to me and basically teach me the entire system. So next up on our tour is the restroom area, which the mirror placement here is a little bit unique, and it's got what might be one of the oldest Gillette razors I think I've ever seen. Mind you, don't take it from me. I clearly don't use the razor. And the bath here. This is a really nice bath. All wood bath. In case you didn't know, Japanese often shower up first in this area and then will enjoy the bath instead of washing themselves in the bath. This bath alone would make it a really nice vacation property. I'm a little nervous to check out the toilet. There's a whole slew of reasons, by the way, that properties go abandoned in Japan. The most common is that it ends up getting passed down to a family member who didn't need it or can't make use of it, and doorways are always so low. But on top of the cost of tearing down a property being tens of thousands of dollars more often than not, like in many other countries, just holding on to property in Japan is not free. It comes with quite a few taxes, and that is actually a really nice toilet. Like, take a peek at this. All things considered, that's actually, I love the bamboo. Wow, it swings. Okay, I was not expecting the swinging, but where's the rest of the toilet? Where's the rest of the toilet itself? There's no it's probably going to a septic tank then? Yep, that seems to be the case. On the plus side, you do have a little window for yourself, and this toilet is at least 1.5, if not twice the size of the one in that tiny little luxury house that the owner custom made for himself. So not a bad space. Let's take a peek upstairs. As with many homes in Japan, stairs of death. These, I don't know if it picks up how steep these are, but these are steep stairs. So, why? Honestly, feels more like a ladder than stairs, but it's these taxes, which is why more people aren't buying up these Akiya, even the 0 yen ones, because you're looking at as many as 5 okay, I can't even really stand in here. Let's get to the middle of the room. At least 5 different types of taxes you could be paying. And this room is about as simple as they come, with a bit of a hidden secret that we'll check out in a minute. And also seeing this kotatsu, which is a form of heated table in Japan that they use. Japan does a lot of space warming. It makes me realize that there's no wood stove, air conditioner, any form of heating in this place at all. You can obviously just buy those things after, but they're handprints. That would be creepy if this place was just abandoned, but that's also why I've been wearing my jacket inside the entire time, because it's actually colder in here right now than it is out there. But nice view. And more often than not, when you want to buy an Akiya or even get a 0 yen place like this, it's the taxes that get you. Now, don't quote me because it's always different from area to area, but there's things like a gift tax, there's a real estate acquisition tax, I think there's some kind of licensing tax, there's a property owner's tax. Depending on the area that you're in, there may even be an urban or city planning tax. There are a lot of taxes, and even just finding out how much those taxes are going to be, more often than not, you actually have to hire somebody to look it all up for you. And of course, finding that person and paying for their services cost money as well. And that's actually how I ended up meeting Mr. Nakamura from the 0 yen house matching service. I was for a short while thinking of buying an Akiya here in Japan, but when I looked into just figuring out how much all the taxes were going to cost me on top of renovations and everything like that, I was overwhelmed, and companies like his provide a service for that, so that's how we met. And there's a phone in there. So it's basically just an attic space, but there's there's this little guy right here. How you doing, guy? Cool. Little Japan Post guy going up the mountain. Love that. I also want to take a peek under the house as well, but this is exactly the type of place that I was looking for, like a little log cabin out in the mountains. It's got enough signal that you can have internet connection, and these stairs freak me out every single time. I also cannot believe how many abandoned homes there are in Japan. I knew it was a lot, but over 8 million and growing just feels really excessive. Taxes and renovations aren't the only issue either. There's also the ever-present problem that in Japan, houses tend to depreciate in value over time rather than gaining value due to earthquakes and what it does to the structural integrity of the building over a certain number of years.
ご覧いただいている物件のように山奥にあってですね、なかなかアクセスするのも大変。それに加えて、例えば建物の状態ですとか、法律に合致している、あるいは法律に違反している建物というのもありまして。
How am I gonna get down without falling? For example, I had done a video on Japan closing down one of its most famous game centers or arcades, and everyone was like, oh, they should have preserved the building, and they can't. The building was simply too, oh my, I almost went. I'm okay. They just couldn't preserve the building. It was simply too old. Just the way it works. And this is interesting. Look at all that fiberglass hanging out there. It shouldn't be too difficult of a repair, providing that there's not a ton of rot. But that's what it looks like under the house. Again, as with buying any home, really hiring an inspector and having them come and check that this thing is actually structurally sound. You're obviously going to have taxes, renovations, and little things that come with it alongside, but the house itself is free. I have heard some areas of Japan, some of these Akiya will require you to live in it as your primary residence and contribute to the community for at least a certain amount of time after purchase.
実際に住まないと買えないところもありまして、あとは建物によっても、じゃあそれをビジネスで使えるもの、使えないものっていうのも 法律で決まっていたりする。
But again, with over 8 million houses across the country, that is still an astounding number to me. They're all going to be handled a little bit differently. There's no one blanket answer that is the solution for all of them. I do really like the area where this house is, though. Up here on the mountain, you've got these little like fields of flowers, bamboo grove over there. There's orange trees and whatnot over here. Now, I'm no longer currently thinking about buying an abandoned house in Japan. I think I have enough going on at the moment, but I am really grateful for the opportunity to come and check this out. You know I always love a good house tour. If you do as well, I'm going to leave a whole playlist of them up here. If you haven't done so already, I would love it if you'd do me the kindness of hitting that subscribe button. And you guys know I will see you again real soon. Well, but this is the kind of place I was looking for, like a nice log cabin. Oh, nothing is going well. Do you like the log cabin?